Szasse.
Alright guys, so the lighting is not fantastic, but today we are taking a look at something that I just got new, and that is the MTRM07 visualizers. So this is MakeToys over here, make of Reflector. So we've got Reflector and the Photons. The Photons are the collection of generic Reflector-like guys that combine together to help make a Reflector, and then Reflector is the guy with the little thing in his chest. So these guys are going to be combining to become a camera in the transformed form, and then otherwise they're going to be these generic looking guys. So let's take a look at everything we get in this box. Alright, so everything in the box is, of course, the instructions. We got the instruction sheet. We'll figure out how to transform this guy in a bit. But we've got the three transformers, so Reflector and his two photons. We've got a little camera. So this is a little version of him transformed that it looks like you can have like Soundwave or something hold on to for some posing. So you can do like a stop motion thing where he transforms into a camera and then Soundwave picks up this camera and takes a picture or something. It'd be a pretty cool little thing to do. And then we got some interesting things. So this is like the flash and also a missile launcher. So this is a weapon that they can hold on to. Back here, there's a little handle that should slot in their hands. And then it's got a missile launcher, and it's got the little slot to slot into the top of the camera. What's interesting here is that this mechanism is actually legitimately the right size to slot into a real camera. Like if you have an actual camera slot, like I have here with this lighting, if I were to unscrew this, and open it up, I am fairly confident that this would actually fit, and it will. That actually fits a legitimate Canon camera lighting slot, or flash slot. And then also interesting is it came with this, which will hook onto the bottom of them when they're transformed. And this actually has the setup to even screw into a mounted computer or camera base. So you could actually put this thing on a legitimate camera tripod and it would work. So that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool touch. This is another bonus thing to add another of that kind of slot. So that's really cool. You could actually set that up on a proper camera stand. All right, nerded out a little bit there. Alright, and of course there is the faces. So we've got a couple of alternate faces. We've got, focus in on this, come on. There we go. We've got a kind of like disappointed look. We've got a angry face. And we've got a wicked grin. So these should slot into any of the different models and give them a little bit of a personality. Right now, he's got kind of a uninterested looking face, and all three of them have the same uninteresting looking face. So they could all be uninterested, or one of them can show some personality. We can switch that up. So that's what we got there. So those are the accessories, and then of course we've got the visualizers themselves. Interesting that it doesn't look like they came with any kind of guns. They didn't come with anything to hold the chute, so you can't arm all of them. They've got that one missile launcher here that one of them can hold on to, but the rest of them are going to be unarmed, just expected to run up there and punch things, which I guess is what they did in the show. All right, so let's look at mobility a bit, because I think that's super important, especially in these figures. So the head is great. It's on a ball. It doesn't have great look-up potential. The look-up goes about that far. So looking forward, looking up, can't look that high up. But other than that, full rotation, all sorts of angles, really good there. Shoulder swivel goes all the way around, that 360. We can raise the arm up, so that can give us a lot of range of poses. This is pretty solid. I think if we had weapons, we should be able to hold on to them pretty good. Elbow is, oh, it's actually a decent joint there, so it's a double hinge joint. we can get some decent rotations there. That's about as far as they go back though. So not too far back, which elbows shouldn't really do. Pretty decent forward, lots of good poses. For the hands, we've got a immobile thumb, and we've got all the fingers are together in one single thing, so there's no multiple finger movement. I like it when all the different fingers move because you can get some good poses, but this is alright. The fact that 3 figures come with this set is what makes up for a little bit of loss of mobility there. Other hand is identical. All the same things, the rotations, the spins, all that fun stuff. Alright, well, it's got a hip twist, hip rotation. Hip rotation does stop when it hits the hips, but still pretty good. Decent poses there. Legs can go all the way forward. Legs can go all the way back. That gives a huge range of poses. We can go about that high. So that's about as high as it goes sideways kicking. We've got some interesting hinges here on the legs if we take a look at that. So we've got that hinge there, and then we've got this here. So that again, there's lots of different potential poses that can be done with that. Very interesting leg joints. Full spin. So that just rotates all the way around. No spin at the knee. So the knee is pretty much stuck and the whole leg is stuck going in whatever direction that the hip swivels at. There is a decent ankle tilt, so we can get some wide poses and it can still stand pretty good. There is a little bit of forward, not very much up. No toe usage. I think that's likely part of transformation and not actually part of him standing. So there we go. That's mobility-wise for the actual Reflector. So Reflector himself has some pretty good mobility. That's a pretty good figure. I assume that these guys are going to be mostly the same. It's really up to just where each of the different parts are. So the backpacks are going to be a little bit different and are going to switch up some of the mobility. So he can't go quite as far rotating because his backpack is significantly bigger. But other than that, it looks like everything else is identical and the same. Yes. Okay. So they're all the same. Just a little bit of differences in the backpack will be all that is there. All right. I think these guys look fantastic. Like, if you're looking at them, they are just straight out of the show almost, it feels like. Like, there's some nice details and added features. You can see kind of the circuit board underneath there, which is a pretty cool look. You can see the batteries. Generally, a little bit of detail all throughout, so they did some nice touches there. So it looks a little bit more advanced than the generic show look, but like they look spitting image of the character. You see this guy, you're like, oh, that's Reflector. No problem there. So that's awesome. Great look. Great setup. All 3 of them are the same height, the same look, all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool. All right. So I am going to go and take a look at the instructions, and then we're going to do a bit of a move-by-move instructional section. All right, so there we have Reflector. That was a little bit of work. I'm sure if you watched through the entire transformation, there are some tricky little pieces in there. Some pieces don't like to thread in, like this little piece here, not being very cooperative. It all comes together pretty nicely into a nice little camera. You got a little viewpoint, buttons, all that kind of fun stuff, and it is connected. So I'm curious how this plays into this whole setup. I'm gonna have to look. It must be that this can attach on somewhere. That'd be my guess, is that this slots into this. All right. And then somewhere, what? Oh, these just come out, and that can go in there. Nope, very specifically that way. I plotted that wrong. Turn that around, slot it in. Ooh, slots in from one direction. There, no, there you go. Okay, slot it in. Now you got your flash attached on there, and then this little thing apparently just comes out and can go back in with a little bit of magnetics. So there we go. And then compared to his little camera self, pretty accurate, pretty accurate. All right. All right. So there we have it. I'm pretty happy to have this figure. It was quite a bit of work to transform into this, but it is 3 figures coming together into a very compressed old form. I am not at all upset. So overall, I would say that this is a really nice reflector. I am happy to have this. I've been waiting to get a reflector for a while, and I've been looking around at all the different options, and I decided to go with MakeToys, and I am not regretting it as of right now. I think this looks pretty sweet. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will catch you guys later. So I did want to include this, and I forgot before I said catch you later. Here is Reflector actually attached to the very tripod that I used to record the episode. So as I said, that little attachment attaches to the bottom and actually connected into a usable tripod. So that's pretty awesome. I think the only thing that would make me replace this reflector in my collection is if they were to manage to put together a reflector that this was actually a working camera. So somebody get on it, get me a working camera reflector, and I will replace my existing reflector with that. But until then, this thing is pretty awesome, and all of its little quirks are greatly appreciated. Thanks, MakeToys, for making an awesome product. So, I don't mind having a little bit of egg on my face. As I was packing it all up, I found a little package hidden away, tucked underneath the plastic, that actually had a gun for each of these guys. So a reflector in each of the photons actually gets a decent gun, and each of them gets a different gun. So that's pretty sweet. Alright, thank you guys so much for coming out and checking out this unboxing of the third-party reflector, also known as Remaster Visualizers. Let me know what you think of these Transformers unboxings in the comments. Like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of fun stuff, and I will catch you next time.